Oh, I see you came back. You ready to know some more knowledge? Okay, let's get into it. Now, if you watch the other videos, you have learned about what you need to know and the truth behind readings, okay? Then you also learned in the minute video what is important to understand before you get into Ifa about yourself, because it ain't for the weak. If you would like spiritual readings, if you would like a Mary de Lagoon or a Defi reading, please go to the website. We do those, okay? If you would like work done, spiritual work done, or business cleansing, house cleanses, those are also on the website. If you want candle work done, love work, spiritual oils, and much more, those are on the website, okay? So you can either follow me on TikTok, YouTube, whatever floats your boat, but let's get into this. Now, the first thing that we're going to talk about in this video is the Odu Ejiogbe. Now, I'm not going to really get into the Odu of itself. It's more of the situation of giving you one of the Pata keys, the important stories of Ejiogbe and what it actually represents. Now, before I actually get into this, I have to give a big shout out to the goddess herself and the Yanifa. What's her name? Efe. Um, uh, Mena. Okay, she wrote this book called Ifa, The Road to Ori Leads to. And baby, when I tell you she has some great books, you can find them on Amazon. And I also have books on Amazon as well. I have The Nine Storms for Oya. I have the Crossroad Tales for SU. And I also have a Kindle book for Oshun that have you deal with self-nurturing, self-healing, and much more. Okay, so we will be using her book to explain some things and to break down what this Petaki actually means in this Odu. Okay, so first things first, because I gotta get my handy dandy notebook, because you already know likes to stay intelligent and informing. All right. So, in this Odu, it deals with if you do not, and I repeat, if you do not understand this, please put it in the comments below. Don't just be doing the most. It's okay to ask for help. I know I'm so tired of grown folks. I'm so serious. In this tradition, a lot of people do not want to ask for help nor change, but claim that they want all the help in the world, but refuse to change to receive the help. So, with this Odu, it deals with one, if you don't work on your inner eyes, you will always misplace priorities. Now, with Odus, you have to actually look at things in Petakis, Arikis, and much more from a non-literal situation. Because I know off rip, a lot of you all, some of you all will get it, and then some of you all are lost in the sauce, like literally confused. Like, what do you mean if I don't work with my inner eyes? You won't see the priorities and you'll misplace them. It's not hard. It's just you finally getting out your mind to accept some things about you. Okay? So, in this Odu, this is the, I guess you could say, Pataki or the Ariki, the Ariki that would be used to prescribe what is going on in your destiny if this was to come up, and this is something that we would have chanted and it came up. This is one of the things that will be happening in your life at this standpoint. So this Oriki is about Olakun and how he is so focused on wealth material gains that he forgets to look inside of himself and his higher self to talk to his Ori for guidance or his inner peace. Let's talk about some of this since a lot of people don't understand, how can I put it, how they actually lose wealth versus understanding why you have to lose it in the first place. Some of you all actually manifest your wealth to be lost. Some of you all actually block your manifestations. Some of you all actually pray for them to be gone. Some of you actually contribute to them being in disarray. Some of you all put yourself in bad situations to where you actually make it worse on you to receive abundance. And some of y'all actually have so much abundance to where you're doing so much to where you don't have any type of peace of mind. And that is one of the worst things in life, is when you have so much abundance, so much wealth, that you really don't know what the hell you're supposed to be doing with it and how to receive the peace that is needed for yourself. Okay, so Arumila says, if you do not work on your inner eyes, you will always misplace priorities. As a spiritual being, your priorities should be Ori, which means all your attention and focus should be on manifesting the will of Olodumare Ori daily through your earthly duty. After all, this is why you are here. But here, Orunmila said that if the inner eye is not in good condition, the bearer is bound to misplace priorities, which means one will pay attention to materialism instead of paying attention to Ori. A man's inner eyes is his eyes of understanding. If it is not in good condition, such person will not be able to make healthy choices and will always misplace priorities, just like what happened to Olakun in the book of Ejiogbe. When he refused to work with his inner eyes in spite of the warnings that Ifa gave him, in this verse, Olakun's whole attention was on material wealth. He wanted to acquire more wealth for himself, so he called on his priest to consult his oracle, in order to know what type of sacrifice was needed for him to achieve his desires. But to his surprise, Ifa told him to move his focus away from materialism and get his inner eye fixed first. Ifa assured him that once his inner eye returned to good condition, everything will fall into place. But Olakun was not comfortable with the message from the oracle. He called on other priests to consult him and console him throughout the process. They performed divination and told Olakun to marry more wives, and he did just that, and birth more children. They assured him that he would become richer materially once he married more wives and had more children. So Olakun listened to the last priests and took their counsels to heart. He married more wives and birthed more children. After some time, Olakun realized that he was not peaceful within himself in spite of all his material wealth. It got to a point where he started having eye problems, but his wealth couldn't fix it. He then realized that he had truly misplaced his priority. Olakun remembered the priest that told him to work on his inner eye, and he ordered his guards to go bring him to him at the palace. The name of this priest was Osumar Ego. The guard found him and brought him to Olakun. Olakun apologized to him by admitting his ignorance, and he helped Olakun to fix his inner eyes. From the above story, one can tell that the inner eye of the humans is their eyes of understanding, and if it is not in good condition, priorities will be misplaced, and this will attract suffering. One way to enrich the eye is to pay less attention to materialism and start to increase your love for Ori. When you increase your love for Ori, your eyes of understanding will be activated naturally and you will begin to receive enlightenment. Now, in this story, a lot of you all will take it as of ego of wealth. And some Babalawos and Yanifas will actually tell you it's just that. What you have to understand with this story in particular, it represents ego, for one. It represents how Olakun did not pay attention to the warnings ahead of time. And with this, a lot of times, people don't like to be told warnings. You know, kind of like when you ask a person, do you want the good news first or the bad news? And I tell you they want the bad news first, so the good news can actually cheer them up afterwards. But do not pay attention to the bad news just as much. Or they overly think it or worry about it, but really do not do anything to change the outcome. See, the beauty about Ifa and a Rumilan, a Lodamar, when you get your reading is, the reading is there to not freak you out, right? It is not meant to send shocks to the body, because these are issues that you've put in place by putting people in certain predicaments, positions, and or you not taking control of your life. So now finally, for you to fix it, these are the things that are happening to you in life. So it is better to know what's going on so you can actually get the work done instead of going through the downfall that would stick with you until you get the work done, and now it's 10 times more higher because you have let so much go on in your life versus getting what was needed up front to prevent the rest of the downfall. In this story, it talks about Olakun ego telling him, you need more money, you need more money, you need more money, you need more money. A lot of times people say money is the root of all evil and people change with money. No, baby, you don't change with money. These are characteristics that you already have within you that are finally exposing their truth in themselves. A lot of people will go for the hustle hard mentality, right? To make more money and disrupt their peace just to have some type of status, right? Versus being the one of character that will receive more abundance with patience, determination, good character, the ability to learn. When you go through this and this comes up in your reading, this is the time where for you to actually sit. You need to sit and fix some things about yourself and see, why are you so greedy and need so much materialistic things? For some people, it's meant to keep up with the Joneses, right? They want to look like somebody instead of finding their own true confidence because they were ignored as a child. Some people do it to be flashy and have some type of control because they didn't have control or stability as a child. Some people actually even taking a step further and cause addiction to themselves to cope with what has happened to them as a child. See, a lot of the problems that you have, even down to the men and women you are intimate with, the friends that you keep around, the family members that are completely chaotic that you keep around, you learn how to oppress yourself with the oppression that was taught to you, instead of allowing your ancestors, but most importantly, your Ori, because this is your head, okay? Your Ori teaching you and guiding you into your path and helping you to do the right decisions. Did you know that you're supposed to spiritually cleanse your head to make right decisions at least once a month, which is an Ori Ebalari? Did you even know that you are supposed to feed your mind? Not just wisdom, but actual food. Did you know that you are supposed to feed your altar with your Ori to keeping you on the right path? Singing the songs, rejoicing, celebrating your higher self, your self-worth. Not an ego, but to rejoice that you are humble, have humility, and grateful for what you have. In this story, it also shows that you're not grateful enough. You're dealing with humility issues, meaning you are working from an ego standpoint. You must change your ego, because once you change it, once he was told what he was needing to do to change the outcome the first time, because the other Babalawos and Awos gave him information about having more kids, more wives, to accumulate money, which a lot of times when you are getting readings from certain Babalawos and Yanifas that are really not rich in the tradition, they really don't teach, they really do not focus on progress, they really do not learn, they will misguide you and put you in a predicament of what you're asking for, but they will not give you the solution. When you get a good Yanifa or a Babalawo, they will give you the solution. It's kind of like when you are sick, you have to take bitters if you are into herbs, right? Or anything that is healthy to have is not as delicious. I don't care how much you doctor it up, even vegan food. No matter how much you doctor it up, it's good. But it's not as delicious as the trash that you would normally eat. So with this, they fed him the trash, but they did not give him the solution like the first Awo Babalawo did. And see, a lot of times you all say you want the help, but you become the hindrance to yourself. You say you want the guidance. You say you want the teachings. You say you want the abilities. But a lot of you all are looking for this. A lot of you all are looking for the pots. A lot of you are looking for titles and status. You don't understand how much sacrifice, how much ego you have to change, how much blockages you have to let go, how much, because a lot of the Babalawos that actually give you this pot don't even make it accurately, because the ones like myself that make the pots, we do not want to give them to you for real, because we're putting our ashe out there, and what you do with it can affect us. So that's the difference between someone that's just giving you a pot to give you money and take your money and do certain things, versus a person of virtue and morals that will tell you there is protocol to this. And Olakun had protocol to this. He had to find peace of mind to have wealth. One of the things that I have learned on my journey is a lot of us want the quick, fast money. So you're willing to go DoorDash, Uber Eats, work a job that you can't stand, do things that put you in compromising positions, right? You will do overtime at work and damn near kill yourself for a couple of weeks just to get this vacation, to get the down payment of a house, to get certain things, right? That might not be even meant for you in the first place, because a lot of times, did you know that you were supposed to read where you're going first so you'll know if it was spiritually meant for you to go there? Or sometimes you traveling out of town can actually lead to your own demise of loss, health issues, mental conditioning, even death, physical. Because you wanted to go to Puerto Rico, but because you didn't get the reading, your ass is parasailing. Next thing you know, a big ass whale hits your boat. You flip over, and something eats you. You see what I'm saying? But you didn't read that. I know that's kind of extreme, but that's just an example. Or let's take it a step further. You travel to Jamaica. You're at a resort. You out there partying and everything else. Water is all over the floor. At the poolside, you decide to dance because they're having you dance and y'all enjoying yourself, but you slip and fall on the edge, and when you fall, you hit your head and you're unconscious. You don't make it. But if you would have got that reading, it would have told you this can happen to you. But see, a lot of you all feel like that's fear-mongering you. It's putting you in fear. If you're always in fear every time somebody is giving you information and insight on something, baby, you ain't ready to transform. Not only are you wasting time, but you are wasting other people's time. And just like Olakun, you want to hear what makes you feel good and what you want. When in actuality, that's not what your higher self wants, nor is that what you need. So now you're stuck. You're stuck with the fact of choosing negative decisions. You're stuck with the fact of operating in lower vibrations. You are stuck with making delulu decisions. You have to take the time. And this is where Ifa is beautiful but also ugly at the same time. This is where you have to take accountability for everything with Ifa. You have to take the accountability that you once was a habitual liar. You once was a D-boy. You once were a whoremonger. You once were an addict. You once were a prostitute. You once were a lot of different things, baby. And you still operated because you still are programmed to sell that dream. Some of y'all can cry on cue. Some of y'all will get frustrated because How dare you call me out on my stuff? Some of you are scared of everything. Some of you are, I ain't doing it. And you'll never get where you need to be, but always in shambles. And your life is always a non-fictional book of horror and transformation and going through hard times and hardships. Ifa is beautiful, but it takes, you gonna cry. You gonna cry. I'm not even about to lie and say you're not gonna cry. Baby, there's gonna be times where you gonna want to cuss every Orisha. Do you hear me? Do you hear me? There are times where you're gonna cuss and fuss at your ancestors and keep it all the way real. There are times where you have to just sit there because your body hurts from all the emotions of learning the truth about who is spiritually attacking you. And I'm not going to lie to you, you're going to lose income, meaning you'll gain it, but you're going to have to pay for a lot of your initiations, your pots, work. This ain't for free because the real ones where we do the work, it's a lot on us. It's a lot of energy to cleanse, and this is that y'all put on us. So the ones that actually charge prices like myself, oh, I'm worth every penny because I have to go through Ifa for the pricings of what you done. If Ifa says only $50 because you're going through hardships, not because you told me, I have to read it with Ifa. I can't, and this is how deep Ifa is. You can come to me for a reading, but if you say, hey, Iya, I need to have a teaching, I can't just teach you. There's protocol to this, baby. And a lot of y'all, please, that don't do to me. Please believe me, I had to deal with my own lessons with that because wanting to save a lot of people. I have been backstabbed, used, abused, and really wanted to stop teaching as a whole. But they made sure I had a greater calling. They made sure that for the ones that really need guidance and leadership and ones that's really going to put them on their ass, the ones that's going to tell them the truth, the ones that's going to stick to their power and use it correctly. Make you uncomfortable when you're too damn comfortable. Speak truth when you don't want to hear it. Tell you that you are afraid to acknowledge because it's so far in the far back in the far back retrograde, so far back in your mental Rolodex that you're hiding from it. You didn't push it to the side. I'll deal with it later. This is how you start your dementia because you're constantly in multiple dimensions hiding stuff in the background. No one told you that was okay. A lot of y'all are not even teachable because if you can't follow your own principles and discipline in life and you're very inconsistent, how the hell are you going to be taught? A lot of y'all want to get upset when you're told to your face that you're an unfit mom and father. You have completely failed and messed up your children's life because it was your fault. You didn't teach them anything of substance. You catered to society and now you're trying to figure out your path while your child is stagnant. Nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that their child has been through graping and you're the cause of it because you didn't have the right family members watching because you were too busy trying to work a 9 to 5 to take care of your child and thinking that was the best thing to do instead of actually watching your family member or your man. These are the beauties and the healings of Ifa. Well, we have concluded this video. Please make sure you follow and subscribe, and make sure you hit the notification bell. If you want the readings, you would go to the website. Okay. You can follow me on YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and so much more. Peace and abundance. Adore.